And that, my friends, is now defeat number 15 of the season. And every week now, we continue to find lower depths and lower depths and lower depths. I think everyone's head right now must be in the summer now, waiting for pre-season, waiting for Pochettino. Because I kind of feel like this team needs like a brand new mental reset. It needs like an introduction of like a brand new approach, brand new ideas. I kind of feel like this game sums up where we've been throughout the season. You know, throughout the season, we haven't been peppered like 3-0, 4-0 consecutively. A lot of times we are losing by that one goal, sometimes the 2-goal margin. And a lot of times it's the details that tends to cost us. And this game kind of highlighted things. An individual mistake, which has been like a normal thing throughout the season. You know, Wesley Fofana, of course, very poor forward pass. Gets blocks out, Julian Alvarez in the counter-attack, and we're 1-0 down. Maybe you're looking towards Frank Lampard. I felt at times that Man City were finding too much space between the lines. And obviously, with Pep's 3-2-4-1 system he uses, it's literally designed to open up the spaces between the lines. So I do feel like the approach to the game wasn't working in our favour. Credit to Lampard for changing things by, you know, pushing our blocks up a bit higher, allowing us to engage them in the build-up phase, you know, try and press them further up the field. When you're playing against Man City, you have to play with a bit of balls. Like, you can't just sit back and hope to do nothing. So that was one of the little small positives there. Peppered throughout was just poor quality in the final thirds. And I kind of feel like, can I blame any manager in particular for the season? Because I've noticed this lack of chemistry now for years. And there was reports that under Thomas Tuchel, they never really worked too often on like attacking patterns of play. You know, Tuchel expected these guys to find solutions on the field. But I guess for me, once we got found out, we looked very predictable, very pedestrian. And you still see a lot of that attacking IQ in our game today. Like, there's a real fear, right, when it comes to players playing the forward pass in the middle, playing the pass to like split the defense, playing the through ball in behind. There's a massive reluctance. And how often in this game today did we see these opportunities where players were carrying the ball into Man City's thirds? You know, players on the counter-attack in charge. And then as they're getting closer and closer to goal, they constantly play the predictable, easy pass out wide to find one of the wing-backs. You know, when it comes to playing that pass in the middle, like when Kai Havertz has like created that yard of space to just leave his man and made that run in behind, he is praying that someone is going to give him that service to do justice to that run he's made. But there's a reluctance from these guys to play that particular final pass through the middle. It's always play the safe ball out wide, and that's been a part of our game now for a very long time, and we've never really improved upon this at all. And when you don't improve upon something at this level, if you have ambitions to get in the Champions League, to win the league, you know, these are details that can't be ignored. These are details that have to be fixed, and today we constantly paid the price for that. I mean, we created threatening moments. It was a bit of an even game in terms of the amount of shots we had. For example, you know, we hit the post too from Conor Gallagher. I mean, great ball, first time ball from Lewis Hall from the left to find Conor. I thought the way he headed that then from the angle, that was a really good header. Very unlucky that it hits the post. How many times did we create these breakaways? I thought Loftus-Cheek was very good in these moments. Raheem Sterling's pace and behind, his movement, his intelligence, it was creating lots of opportunities for us. He had this one opportunity, one-on-one. I guess the angle wasn't in his favour, but we were able to create these threats, this danger against Man City on like a semi-regular type of basis. Every time we get close to that goal, it must be a mental thing at this point. You know, players can't even test the goalkeeper by hitting these shots on target. I'm looking at the opportunities for Mudryk right in the end. I'm thinking, my guy, come on. Like, how are you completely missing the target? Not even forcing the keeper to make a save when you're that near on goal. You know, I'm looking at Azpilicueta for the final moment of the game. I thought it was a great cutback pass from Pulisic. Really wraps his body around that then to create the opportunity. And when I was watching the TV, I was thinking, okay, Azpi, like, are you going to get ready to make this run to the far post, right? But by the time he reacted, it was too late. And of course, that fine margin between him connecting with the ball to hopefully equalise and put us back in the game is completely gone. And it's these details every single time. You know, we're a team that doesn't really know what to do in the final thirds. Of course, it's not helped by the fact that the amount of rotations we've seen in the squad throughout this season. You're going to pay the price for this because these players need to build that relationship, that type of understanding, to understand each other's movements. This is why I feel like Havertz still looks like this isolated figure for most times that it's kind of on the periphery at times, doesn't really get to link up with people. And for the criticism that he does deserve at times, I've always kind of felt like we have absolutely wasted this guy because we've had no real attacking plan. We've had no type of ideas to really, bring the best qualities of his game into our game. And as I keep saying, my guys, I just want the season to end. And I do kind of feel that with Pochettino coming in right now, this is what we need. I mean, look at the danger we created on the counter-attack. As I mentioned, those carries from like Ruben, one of like a few excellent runs in the game. Looking at guys like Sterling, Connor, we had these opportunities. And I do feel like under Pochettino, a guy that really specializes on teams executing these moments, teams creating these chances on the counter press, on the counter attack, in transition, and putting these efforts in the back of the net. This is the type of football that Pochettino likes to play. So I'm really hoping now that, he'll be our saving grace in that sense. And who knows if he's going to be joined by Vlahovic. Reports today suggesting that we're preparing a bid to sign him permanently. And for me, I guess the fact that if this ends up being like super, super concrete, the fact that we're making a very early move to bring in a striker right now, and we've decided who our guy is, gives me a little bit of hope that maybe, hopefully something happens with this. In terms of some of the good things we did in this game, things like our counter pressing, our ability to, attack from transitions, we fight. I feel like this season, there's only been a handful of games where the players mentally just weren't in it and obviously lost everything on the field. But I kind of feel like most times I do see an effort and a willingness to try and compete at least. And I do feel like there's these small elements that we have that Pochettino can actually take to a different level, that he can improve upon, make us a lot better in these moments and make our good aspects shine even brighter. So, now the season's coming to an end, I guess we can start to really think about, this season in hindsight now, and to really think about where the future is for us right now. And that is going to be under Pochettino. Anyway, before I end things, let's discuss some other talking points from this game. And we have to talk performances. For me, I think the contrast between Lewis Hall and Cesar Azpilicueta, it kind of sums up, beautifully where we are as a football club right now. Transitioning from the old to the young. Here, we'd never really found like a smooth way to transition from an old team to a new team. It's always been a very messy period, with this season being the messiest by far. And watching how Lewis Hall was coping against Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, one moment where he slips, handball, resolved from that slip, worked in his favour in the end, but he's 18 years old and, playing as a wing-back isn't even his main position. And you're comparing that to Cesar Azpilicueta, where the old Azpi is not getting turned and done out that easily by Palmer on the left-hand side. Palmer, very techie player, very nice, very technical, very elegant. But he was absolutely running rings around Azpi down that right-hand side. And at times it was looking quite bad. It was like, bro, Azpi's really, really grown, right? Because a few years back, this guy is literally like a homing missile who's not letting his target leave his eyesight at all. And now he doesn't have the legs to really keep up with most fast Prem players these days. And as a fan base, we have seen this physical decline now for a few years. So it's no real surprise in the fact that, listen, the guy's an icon at this football club, the longevity. He's been there in our best moments recently too. But decisions like knowing when it's time to let some of these guys leave to then focus on rebuilding, those types of details have not been part of our squad management and our squad building. And in the end, you do kind of pay the price for that, because I feel like every time Azpi has played this season, he always has been like a bit of a glaring weakness where teams really get at him. It really messes up our game. And as I was mentioning today, a lot of times, Man City had a lot of spaces open up between the lines. And, when you're occupying our wing-backs, and you know that your wingers and your team have the physical advantage where they can just beat your wing-backs any possible way, you're going to look even weaker as a team, right? And your shape's going to get disrupted even more. But on the other hand, I'm looking at Lewis Hall today, and as I'm always saying with this kid, he's a very positive player. He plays without fear, and that's what I love about him. He'll make a mistake, but that mistake doesn't define his game, and he moves on from that, and then he'll make the opportunity for you. He was very unlucky, his cross on the left-hand side. Wasn't an assist today. He was able to get into Man City's books, of course, and, test their keeper with a few shots. And on top of that too, I felt his handling of Riyad Mahrez, where a few times he was dispossessing him and helping us carry the ball further forward. On top of him, timing them overlapping runs time and time again. This is a great performance. And when you consider that we've spent 150 million on Koulibaly, Cucurella, Raheem Sterling, good players, but, seniors that, for me, are they necessarily of that sufficient level to really supplement and complement the young talent in this team? I'm not too sure because, does Cucurella look like he's £60 million better than Lewis Hall? Absolutely not. Cucurella hasn't even had games like what Lewis Hall's performed for us this season. And it's just I really hope that we never close down these pathways from Cobham, because this is the type of quality that we're producing on the regular. And imagine the money we're saving if we're actually utilising the talent we have. So again, for me, I really hope that next season now, we really, really kick out all of the old guards, all the guys with surplus requirements, the guys who aren't needed anymore, and really properly start building for the future, and really properly start building on an identity, on a plan. And I feel with the talent we have in this team, with the right manager and a few more additions, hopefully, next season can't get any worse than this, right? So my friends, that is the match review today. Share your thoughts and opinions. How did you feel about the game? Let us all know. And on that note, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.